How you guys doing, my fellow Tuskegeans? My name is Andrew Darden. I want to talk a little bit about how this place used to be when I was growing up as a child, as a kid. It was such a terrific thing to be a part of this Tuskegee as we know it. But I left home some years back and I came back home to a place I didn't recognize. I did not recognize it at all. The youth don't have anything going for them. And y'all know as children, we played at Albert Park. There were so many things to do at Albert Park. We had the rec center where we learned to play ping pong. We could swim. People were playing tennis. Softball was going on. Basketball was going on. The youth sports. Everybody remembers Zion Hill, Rockefeller, Greenwood, Greenfork. And as I transitioned back home, not to see any of these things taking place, it just hurt my heart. And I didn't understand that. Living in a place so rich in culture. You understand? So for me to see these changes in this place going downhill like that, it prompted me to say, you need to come home and try to make a difference. We were never this violent as children. We didn't play with guns like that. Of course you had your occasional problems with guns, but it wasn't this bad. The youth are out of control, mainly because they have nothing to do. They have nothing to do. We have not laid down one path for any of these kids to do anything in the summertime or any other season around here in Tuskegee. And it didn't used to be that way. It didn't used to be that way. If we had problems, we settled our problems with our hands. We didn't pick guns up. Parents stayed on top of us. And I think when the village stopped raising the kids, that's when we got out of hand. Nowadays, you can't even say anything to somebody's child when they dead in the wrong. And we fail as a people when we do that. We fail as a people when we do that. I see so many situations to where parents are trying to be these kids' friends, and that's not the way to go. And most definitely, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to raise their children, but these are one of the values and the goals that's missing from every community in Tuskegee. And the elderly people shouldn't be scared to come out of their house because they don't know where the bullet's gonna start shooting or where they're gonna come from. And that's just unacceptable. You understand? There used to be a time when young folk accepted constructive criticism from the elderly community. Or as in, you get in trouble and you do something out here, they put the switch on you. And then when they called your parents and you came home, then you got the switch put on you again. I am never gonna understand how we have made it here. I'm never gonna understand it, and it hurts my heart. And I don't wanna just sit back and be a part of the problem. I wanna be a part of the solution. In order for us to get these drugs out of these kids' hands and these guns out of these kids' hands, we have to have something to fill that void. We have to have something to fill that void. If you're gonna ask them to put the guns down and put the drugs down, then we need to lay out situations and formats for them to do something else. I was coming up, we had Upward Bound. City had programs for people that were underprivileged, and they worked those jobs and got those checks, and they bought their own school clothes, and it gave them a nice feeling about themselves to be accepted into the crowd with everybody else. They didn't have to worry about that. The store owners were different. Everything was just different. But now that I get back home and I look around at my surroundings, it's just, excuse the word I'm gonna use here, it's pitiful. Mismanagement of funds, and it's starting to take a toll on what's going on in this city. It's starting to take a toll. And if we don't start working together to make some changes in this place, it's gonna disappear. If you look to the left, Montgomery is coming up on us. If you look to the right, Auburn is closing in on us. And it makes no sense for us to not have control of this little piece of turf that we call Macon County / Tuskegee, Alabama. We need change. And so I opted out to just come back and do as much work as I can possible to save this place, to save the youth, Stop from going into self-destruction, because that's what's happening right now. We don't have control of our city, people, and we need to get it back. We need to have self-love for the place that we were born and raised. It's time to get back to the times of respecting your elders. It's time to get back to the time of listening to your elders, you know? Because once that's all gone, we really don't have nothing. We need to change the way we approach our city and what we do to maintain it.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you remember Mitchell Village?
Yes, sir.
What memories do you have?
Oh, I have so many memories with Mitchell Village and every other community around here, from Greenwood to Green Fork to Rockefeller on down to any other community you want to name. And it's not like you guys don't know me, because I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all know me and you have watched me grow into something very, very different. You know, that child's mentality has to get put in the chest, as we so-called say. And it's time to come up with grown man views. And that's worth sacrificing a lot of stuff for right there. I can remember coming up in the Greenwood area. That's where my people from Penny Street on down to Battle Street. We walked those streets. We didn't have to worry about shootings going on. We didn't have to worry about kidnappings going on, because everybody watched those kids when they walked those neighborhoods. There was no such thing as, oh, this is, as you new kids call it, our hood. You can't come in our hood. That has never been Tuskegee. Tuskegee is a hood itself. I'm gonna use y'all terminology for this. You don't control any streets around here, and that's what's starting to happen. When I was growing up here, I went to every neighborhood that was in the city. We played basketball against those communities. Sometimes we played football against those communities. At the end of the day, if somebody had any kind of dust up, it was with their hands, and when they got done, everybody lived. You shook your hands from it, and you were right back friends the very next day. So to come down here and see all of these changes in that part of what's going on, it disturbs me. Because Tuskegee is for all of us, not just divided up into areas, and these areas become y'all areas with the gang mentality y'all bringing to the streets, you know. And I can understand why some of this is happening, because when you've been going through so many things for so long and you haven't progressed anywhere and nobody has anything for you to do, there's nothing left to do. But if you look at the population of this place, we went from high numbers down to a population now of about maybe 8,000 and some change. And that's not good at all. I need my people to come back home. Certain things need to be implicated in this place to where they can afford to come back home. You know, we always say the pride of the swift growing South. I don't see any swift growing going on in this part of the South. And for this to be a predominantly black county/city, we're supposed to be doing things far ahead of everybody else. That is what we're supposed to be doing. But when resources are not being used the correct way, funds are being mismanaged, people are violating Freedom of Information Act, won't let us see particular paperwork, that becomes a problem. And I decided to go against the fraternal politics. It shouldn't be that way. Police violence on black people from people that's not even from here. We shouldn't tolerate that at all. I remember growing up here and everybody knew everybody, including the police. It was, go home, I'm gonna call your mama or your daddy. And we got right in a matter of milliseconds because we knew what the consequences was gonna be. But when you see children not scared and going against the grain like they don't care about anything, we don't need them using that energy for that. We need them using that energy to help us progress. And if we don't have the proper channels for them to get educated on what to do, and they feel like they can't do it, and I'm just not gonna do this because I don't have the money, I don't come from this, it's not gonna happen. It's only gonna get worse. They will run to the streets. And that's what we don't want. We don't want that. So, I want to implicate a whole lot of stuff to help these children. You understand me? Because they are the future.
Let me ask you a question. Do you remember when Tuskegee University, Tuskegee Institute had like a trade school?
Oh, yes, sir.
Do you think that would have been something to help the community?
It would have been fantastic. And that's why I'm always saying, I don't like this thing that they're doing. The city don't work with the county don't work with the city, and Tuskegee University don't work with either one of them, and it didn't used to be that way. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all remember the Upward Bound programs, even the Job Corps program. But it's like everything that's good for our youth, everything that's good for some of us, it goes away. And we can't keep having that and still want to put the historical Tuskegee name coming out of everybody's mouth. We need to have more pride in our city. And it starts from the top all the way down to the bottom. So naturally, I know some of y'all tired of what's going on. Some of y'all done gave up hope. And I don't like that, and it saddens me to even see that, because I can remember a time when these people, your fellow Tuskegeans, your relatives, your grandmas, your granddads, your old aunts and uncles, they didn't tolerate this. And I feel like we shouldn't leave this fight in their hands. It should be left up to us, the younger generation. And so that's why I put messages out, and I send them out in mass. All young people, 18 and above, come talk to me. I'm approachable. I want to sit down and see what y'all pondering in y'all heads, because y'all are the future. You know, I used to be the future, but I'm not that young anymore. So, you know, I'm approaching my 50s. So I can't be out here doing all that young man leg work, but I do what I can. And I would love to talk to the youth and see what their view is on what the things that they want to see in the city, and take it out of these people's hands. Y'all got more power than you ever can imagine. And it's time to start using it if you want to take this city back. So let me give a special shout out to some of the Tuskegee University students that I'm dealing with right now, because they are really active and they really want change. And I respect that. I respect that so much some days to where I be about to have tears in my eyes, because I see the drive in these young people. We need more of that. You know, so many people complain about on around here. Oh, my lights. Oh, this place just so raggedy. Oh, we just so tired of this. And I can understand that. Because if you are an individual that's on a set salary, that's disabled or whatever the case may be, there's no way you should be putting up with a $600 or $700 light bill, because when you pay that bill, you didn't even eat this month. You know, and the disregard to the elderly people is just ridiculous. Their funds shouldn't be cut, and it didn't used to be that way. I come from an era of, we didn't have it. I go next door and knock on somebody's door. My mama say, you got some flour, we'll give it back to you next week. Or do y'all got some sugar? We'll give it back to you next week. And it worked. It was a village. It was a village. Nobody had nothing. And before I get off that topic, I want to just say this. A lot of you people know that I am from this side. I never claimed to be nothing more than what I was. I was in those same neighborhoods y'all are in, and some of y'all remember me from a jit all the way up until right now. Yes, I had my times where I got out of order, but it didn't get so bad to where I was out here inflicting violence on people, robbing people or anything like that. We still had moral values, you know. And to see what I'm seeing around here right now, people my age riding around with 17 and 18-year-olds, it's just unacceptable, and it should not be like that. So the dynamics of this place has changed so greatly. And we are in great need of change. And we gotta do the work, yo. We gotta do the work. It's not just gonna come back to where it used to be in the 80s and the 90s because we close our eyes and we wish it. We actually have to get out here and roll our sleeves up, and we actually have to do the work. I know y'all care about your families. I know you're concerned about how you're gonna make it from day to day. But all I'm asking is reserve 15% of that time to come down to these meetings and show these people that we're not gonna just tolerate it, and we're not gonna just be handled any old kind of way. And people from Tuskegee have always been fighters. Look at the situation with the healthcare. You see how strong y'all are? You don't have a hospital, but you make a way to make sure your kids are safe. But on the other hand, when you flip that, with this being such a historic place, especially what we went through with the syphilis and things of that nature like that right there, the one thing we should have here is a hospital. So for you guys to go almost 40 years with no ambulatory services and no hospitals, y'all are as real as it get. And I hold my hands up like this to y'all because y'all are the real MVPs. You take bad situations and you turn them around and you make good situations out of them. And I applaud every individual that's been going through that and dealing with that for the past 40 years. There is a cutoff date on people from Tuskegee, Alabama, because we didn't even have a hospital. So if you didn't get born in John Andrew or around the lake at Dr. Story's office, I think that's what his name was, that's what his name, you really aren't even a Tuskegean. And I hate to break it to you like that because we had no hospital to birth no kids. We need to get it back. So regardless if you were born in Lee County or Tallahassee or anywhere like that, Montgomery, and then you came directly to Tuskegee, I'm not criticizing that. That still makes you a Tuskegean. You've been here your whole life just like me. You've been scraping and crawling and trying to get by off limited resources. And at the same time, when people show you they don't really care about you, and I hate to say it like that, but I'm just gonna tell the whole truth. You need to get up and you need to fight. This is your city. This is your town. And nothing should happen in this town and y'all don't know anything about it. I'm not telling y'all to roll up y'all sleeves and come down here with bats and clubs in your hand and guns and things of that nature, because you don't have to do that to fight. Your voice can be amplified and you can make a difference. You can make a difference. So if you're really tired of putting up with a lot of stuff that's going on around here that's unnecessary, you know, because I have met a whole lot of y'all at Thomas Reed Chicken Coop. I know y'all remember Thomas Reed Chicken Coop. We went there every day. Every day. We went places that were local and we ate in places that were local. But when I look around here, I don't see too much of that. And for 40 years to have gone by and nothing has changed, you know, I'll give y'all an example. I was going down one of the streets in the neighborhoods I was raised up in, particularly Penny Street. I saw the same hole in the road that was in the road when I used to walk home from Lewis Adams School. And some of y'all went to Lewis Adams School with me because we walked the same streets growing up. So whether you went to Lewis Adams, whether you went to Washington Public, whether you went to Tuskegee Public, you know what the place looked like back then also. I don't have to tell y'all that. I don't have to remind y'all of that. So if something as simple as streets can't be repaired around here in the 40 years, I mean, some of us are 45 plus. 45 plus. And to not still have a hospital here is just tragic. I mean, nobody's gonna keep sending their kids to this glorified university if it's no health care. Would you send your child here if it's no health care? That should be numero uno, number one. That should be the first thing being tackled. But yet and still, they mismanage the funds and they build themselves a building. And they don't even give us a hospital. And that speaks volumes if you're really looking and if you're really listening and if you really grew up from here. If you really grew up from here. And some of these situations just have to change. They have been long overdue.
Tell me about the Moulton Field fly-in, how that used to be, and any memories from that.
You know, first of all, I don't like the name drop, but I'm just gonna say the particular lady that's down there running things. She's doing a spectacular job with that Moulton Field. And I'm pretty sure some of y'all used to go down there just like I did for the festivities they used to have. And they used to be fun. Matter of fact, they used to be off the chain fun. But those are some of the things that we used to do and they have lost their way in Tuskegee. The neighborhood games. You know, we walked from neighborhood to neighborhood to neighborhood. We didn't have money for drinks. You had people that would say, hey man, get you some drinks, man, and y'all going where y'all going. It's not like that anymore. You can't even hardly talk to people here because they get what you want, what you talking to me for. That's not the way this place used to be. Everybody knew everybody, everybody loved everybody. And when you see some of those values not here anymore, it becomes a problem, and it's been a problem. We have gotten too caught up into worrying about ourselves and our situations to where the city around us is just crumbling down to the ground. I come here and I see the same buildings here with no upgrading, no upkeep. And they constantly tell us, shop Tuskegee. Well, this is one thing I say to every Tuskegean that's gonna watch this video. And I know it's gonna sound like a kicker, and some of y'all gonna say, oh, you shouldn't be saying that. Well, I'm gonna say it anyway. How can you shop Tuskegee at 11.5% tax? You can't do it. There's no way you can do it. There's no way that I would try to influence any of y'all to spend y'all hard-earned money shopping Tuskegee at 11.5% when you can go up to Auburn and get double what you're buying in Tuskegee. It's just, they make it unaffordable to live here. They make it so unaffordable to live here to where some of y'all just got up and y'all just left, and I can't blame y'all for that. But I want y'all to come on back home. I want y'all to come back home. That's why I'm here, and that's why I'm doing everything in my power to go against the powers that be. I dare not drop any names because this is not my live on Facebook. This is a respectful video right here because I want some of y'all to know about me. Grandmama named Bessie Darden. I was raised right over there on Brickyard Hill. Everybody know Boosie Darden. Little light-skinned man with a hump in his back. He did so much work for y'all. My family did so much work over the city. You can't say brick mason without calling the Darden. You can't say it. And that was the education I got. Look at these hands. Even though I vowed to say when I got grown, I wouldn't do that work ever again, but I know how to do it. I know how to survive. And if you from Tuskegee, Alabama, and you survive here, you can survive anywhere. That's what make y'all so strong.
Tell me this now, what can you do to make things better?
Oh, I gotta watch my words here because I want to keep it strictly respectable. We have a asphalt company that y'all paid for. That solves your street problem right there. You go down there, you open that asphalt company up, and you know how many jobs that would create? We could get our own backyard paved and straight, and also we could make money outside the county and everywhere else paving roads. That's jobs. That's stimulation for the county. You go down there to that VA, you ink a deal, and you open that VA medical center back up. Nobody fought for that VA medical center. Nobody fought for that VA medical center. So that is a slap in the face of every veteran from right here in this city. And we got a lot of them. And they shouldn't be having to pay money to get all the way to Birmingham or Montgomery to get looked at when we got one of the biggest VA medical centers in the world, right here in Tuskegee. You look at the hospital situation, jobs. And so my thing is, why hasn't anybody fought for that? Why didn't you fought for that? And then you sell the original training facility of the Red Tails. So when you look at your public officials, they just haven't been doing the job, and they just fumbling the ball and just keep fumbling and keep fumbling and keep fumbling the ball. Because if you hadn't sold that original training facility for the Red Tails, that would be a third of the money for this city. People would come from all over the world to see that training facility, but we no longer own it. And you got to ask the question, well, how did we not have that anymore? I dare not go into it in depth with it, but y'all got brains to think. My Tuskegee people ain't the dumb, suspender wearing Alabamians that people think we are. We are not that. We have never been that. We got the same values as everybody else, a little bit different culture because we Southern. We Southern. We country. No matter where I go in the world, somebody asks me where I'm from, I say Tuskegee University, and I stick my chest out like this. You understand me? I'm not gonna sit up here and say I'm not disheartened about what's going on, but I still hold my head up and I say I'm Tuskegee built because that's what I am. So instead of talking about the problems, I came home and I want to institute some solutions, because you don't have to be a rocket scientist to make in this place. All you got to do is do the right thing. That's it. Just do the right thing. And when your politicians ain't doing the right thing, and I'm not talking about no street committee talk right now, because I don't do that. I don't even indulge in that. I don't even listen to it. I research. So let me give a shout out to Miss Outland, because you patted my hand so much to where you made it possible for me to know how to read and comprehend. Teachers like Miss Mallard, they care. And I'm not saying the teachers right now don't care. I'm talking about my era and the way we were. And we need to get back to it, you know. So there are several things you can implement into this place that'll help it grow. But it gotta be not for you, not for your family. It gotta be for the citizens. But if you look at what's going on around here, we're not being upgraded. Politicians are. And they don't look straight across at us. They look down and talk to us. And we've never had that before. That's not the way this is supposed to be. We are black, and we need to start acting like we black, and we need to start acting like we own something. Y'all might not think Tuskegee is worth nothing, but oh boy, it is worth more than you could ever possibly imagine. And so I send this message out to people at Tuskegee University. I am very approachable, and I would love to talk with y'all about things that can be done, you know. And another thing, growing up, there were no gates at Tuskegee University. There were no gates. We walked on that campus and we watched the band, we ate lunch with everybody else, and there were no problems. But when you put the gates up, it's like you separating yourself from the city and you're making yourself your own entity. And you might not know it, that causes a little bit of mental illness to people on the outside, because we've never had to worry about that. We walk freely through that campus with no crime and nothing else. And it actually inspired a couple of kids to actually go to Tuskegee University. So I say to certain officials that have the power to, you know, put the interest in another person to go do what they doing, y'all need to show up a little bit more. I dare not call no names, but we got superior lawyers here. Their arms reach all the way out to Washington, D.C. We have singers, actors. They leave and they come back, show their faces for a few minutes. And this is not a shot to them, because I love everything they do. But to be something somewhere where you're not, when you can just come home and we would embrace you, you need to come on back. Inspire the next singer, inspire the next lawyer. And as far as doing that, people have dropped the ball on that. And I'm pretty sure if some of y'all walk around in this city, the youth won't even know who y'all are. They won't even know your face. They will have to go to their phones like they do right now and Google your name and see your face. You know, so we all need to do a little bit better. I need to do a little bit better. I'm not gonna act like I'm above it and I don't need help and I can't use help, because I always can use help. So I say to the people that wondering what I got going on, what am I trying to do? Approach me. I would love to talk to anybody that want to do something to better this city. I would love it. I would love it.
Now, what is your vision for Tuskegee?
Definitely not to be a retirement community, because we got some bright, intelligent people here that really can take us to the next level. I want to see this place thrive. I want to be able to sit right out there in that jamboree and just watch everything around me move like ants, if you know how ants move. Ants are constantly moving and they never stop. They always have something to do. They always have some place to go. But when you eliminate that, they just stand still and you won't see them. And that's what's going on with Tuskegee. That's what's going on with Tuskegee. I would love to see this place get a jump start. Business, especially economy. We need that here. We need economic stimulation in this place. And we can get it. Only if y'all bring them voices together like this and amplify them. Support what's going on in your city. We're not asking for money. We're just asking for your voice. And that's what's missing in this place. The voices being amplified and together as one unit. We need to bring that back. We need to bring respect back and prosperity back to this place, because there is none. You look at this place where we filming at right now. I'm pretty sure all y'all pass by here every day. You don't see any changes. You look at the buildings abandoned, you look at the trees growing out of the inside of the buildings. That's not swift growing south to me. And I'm pretty sure y'all can agree with that. That's not the pride of the swift growing south. We should have been way more steps than we are right now. And so it's time to get in here and implicate that change. One individual is not going to be able to do it. It's going to take all of us as a whole to reverbalize this city and bring it back to where it should be. It should be in a whole nother place. Now, this is not a racist statement I'm making. Well, I truly do believe the movie Black Panther came from the city of Tuskegee, because that is what we're supposed to be. That's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be Wakanda. This is supposed to be Wakanda. I really think that movie was based off this city right here. Not saying it was, but that's just my recollection of it. This should be a modern day Wakanda. We have had so many resources to come through this place, and we have never seen those resources put in place because we got corruption around here. And I'm not going to get too much into that, because if you hear and you know and you know, you know. How are we going to advance if we don't know where we are? That's the main problem. You can't advance if you don't know where you are. It's like you're starting in the dark, and it needs to change.
So how could someone get in touch with you if they wanted to get more information?
Oh, I'm all over Facebook. Can I drop my number?
Drop it.
402-779-6720. I'm willing to work with anybody that want to work on the progressing of this city.
What about your Facebook?
Facebook, the same thing. I add everybody. I have discussion.
What's the name for Facebook?
My name on Facebook is Andrew L. Darden III.
That's on Facebook.
That's on Facebook. And if you know my name, you know that's the third. Boosie Darden is the first. Andrew Lucius Darden the second. So, you know, you may see me talking a little bit angry on Facebook. It's because I am angry. And to the people that's watching, especially my elderly community, I hear you guys loud and clear. If you notice, in the last 2 or 3 videos I did not drop one curse word. And that's me reaching back in that education that I got growing up and listening to my elders. Shut your mouth and just listen. You ain't never too grown to learn. And you ain't never too grown to use them manners. And I use them right now today. I'm a grown man. Of course I can curse in front of my mama if I want to. Of course I can curse in front of anybody if I want to. But what would that make me? How would that make me look? And I don't want to look like that. So that's why I respect my elders, and that's why I respect my mom. When y'all do hear me drop those couple of words, man, I apologize to them online. But now they telling me when I walk through the city like I'm doing now, look here, Mr. Darden, we appreciate everything you doing, and you telling no lies. And if y'all know, like I know, when you get that finger, you need to stop all that cussing. Yeah, ma'am. I won't do it again. So again, I'm very approachable. My name is Andrew Darden. If you don't know me, I'm all over the city. I'm all over the county talking to people, trying to see what changes they need in their neighborhood and what would make them feel easier. Because I don't want them scared, and I don't want them people nervous. They shouldn't have to be. They went through enough to where we are right now.
Right.
And so, again, my name is Andrew Lucius Darden III, and I am running for your Commissioner Senate seat. Give me the seat, and I promise you guys, I will bring everything to the table that y'all looking for, especially transparency. If you can't be transparent with your people, then you can't be transparent with nobody. I have nothing to hide. Google me. Y'all know my name. Nothing. And I'm home to make a difference, and I will fight for it until the end. You guys have a nice day, and it was fun talking to you, brother.